Good day everyone, I am Ninalyn Evangelista and I'm going to discuss the continuation of Ms. Rui's report, Project Management Chapter 9, Scope Planning. Point 7. User Requirements. User requirements describe what the users need to do with the system or product. The focus is on the user experience with the system under all scenarios. Itong requirements na to yung nag-describe kung ano yung dapat gawin ng isang user sa isang product. Para tong guidelines. 9.8 Regulatory Requirements. Regulatory requirements can be internal or external and are usually non-negotiable. They are the restriction, licenses, and laws applicable to a product or business that are imposed by the government. Non-negotiable, it means di mo na need makipag-negotiate. Kasi nasa batas na yung requirements na needed para maging legal ang isang proyekto. 9.9 An example of requirements. Automated teller machines or ATMs can be used to illustrate a wide range of requirements. Wide range siya kasi marami siyang needed na requirements. Like, what are some of the physical features of these machines? And what kinds of functions do they perform for the bank's customers? Why did banks put this system in place? And what are the high-level business requirements? The following represents one possible example of each type of requirement as they would be applied to a bank's external ATM. ATM functional requirement. The system will enable the user to select whether or not to produce a hard copy transaction receipt before completing a transaction. ATM non-functional requirement. All display will be in white 14-point Arial text on black background. ATM technical requirement. The ATM system will connect seamlessly to the existing customer's database. ATM user requirement. The system will complete a standard withdrawal from a personal account from login to cash in less than 2 minutes. ATM business requirement. By providing superior service to our retail customers, Monumental Bank's ATM network will allow us to increase associated service fee revenue by 10% annually on an ongoing basis. ATM regulatory requirement. All ATMs will connect to standard utility power sources within their civic jurisdiction and be supplied with an uninterrupted power source approved by the company. The effective specification of requirements is one of the most challenging undertakings project managers face. Inadequately specified requirements will guarantee full project results. Bakit nga ba isa yan sa mga pinakamahirap ding kinakaharap ng isang project managers? Siyempre, hindi kasi sapat lang na malaman o matukoy lang kung ano yung isang requirements ng isang project. Kailangan pa talagang pag-aralang mabuti para maiwasan ang pangit na resulta ng isang proyekto. Documenting requirements is much more than just the process of writing down the requirements as the user sees them. It should cover not only what decisions had been made, but why they have been made as well. Understanding the reasoning that was used to arrive at a decision is critical in avoiding repetition. Yung pagdo-document kasi ng isang requirements, hindi lang kasi siya yung kung ano yung napagdesisyonan, yun lang yun. Kailangan kasi ding tukuyin kumbaga kailangan din i-document kung para saan yun, kung bakit nagawa yun, yung yung project na yun, halimbawa ganun. Para maiwasan yung repetition. Sa isang requirements, hindi lang project managers yung gumagawa ng isang task. Siyempre may mga tulong din yan ng mga stakeholders bago at ma-sign off yung isang requirements. Andiyan yung magkakandak sila ng discussions, brainstormings, and interviews para ma-identify nila kung ano yung gusto nilang desire para sa isang project. The project manager reviews the requirements, incorporates them into a project documentation library, and uses them as an input for the project plan. 9.10 Software Requirements Fundamentals. This section refers to requirements of software because it is concerned with problems to be addressed by software. May mga na-encounter kasi tayong software problems na kailangang tukuyin at resolbahan para sa mga business processes na gumagamit ng software. A software requirement is a property that must be exhibited by software developed or adapted to solve a particular problem. The problem may be automate part of a task of someone who will use the software to support the business processes of the organization that has commissioned the software, to correct shortcomings of existing software, to control a device, etc. It is an essential property of all software requirements is that they be verifiable. It may be difficult or costly to verify certain software requirements. For example, verification of the truthful requirement on a call center may necessitate the development of simulation software. Both the software requirements and software quality personnel must ensure that the requirements can be verified within the available resource constraints. 9.11 Measuring requirements. These requirements usually use some particular software product. Useful ito sa pag-evaluate ng changes ng isang requirements at pag-estimate kung magkano cost ng pagde-develop at maintenance task nito, or simply in using it as the denominator in other measurements. Andyan yung property measure, speed, processes, transaction, second, user, event response time, screen refresh time, size, kbytes, number of RAM chips, ease of use, training time, number of health frames, reliability, mean time to failure, probability of unavailability, rate of failure, occurrence availability, robustness, time to restart after failure, percentage of events causing failure, probability of data corruption on failure, portability, percentage of target defendant statements, number of target systems. 9.12 Scope Inputs. The project manager gathers initial project packs from the project charter. In addition, background information on the stakeholders' workplace, existing business model and rules, etc. Assist in creating the vision of the final product or service and consequently the project scope. This the project charter to know the inputs, tools and or techniques and outputs of project manager. 9.13 Techniques. Certainly, being a seasoned project manager broadens the repertoire of one's scope planning techniques. An experienced project manager can draw on a past experiences with like projects to determine the work that is realistically doable, given time and cost constraints for a current project. Communication and negotiations skills are must-have as well. Project Charter illustrate the tools and techniques must have a project manager. Well, project manager should have a communication and negotiation skills and can draw a past experience. Siyempre kasi ang project manager, siya yung makikipag-connect, communicate, makikipag-negotiable sa mga stakeholders about sa project impacts ng ibang requirements. Like adding complexity sa isang project. Require kasi dito yung magdagdag ng staff oras, and pera. Siyempre siya rin yung magsasabi kung ano yung magiging impact nun sa project quality. Kung ano pa yung mga aspects ng isang project na unfeasible na dapat malaman ng mga stakeholders para pag-adjust sila sa future challenges na haharapin nila. Gathering requirements is a part of scope definition and it can be done using one or more of following techniques: interviews, focus groups, facilitated groups such as GAD, joint application development, group creativity techniques, brainstorming, nominal groups, Delphi, mind map, affinity diagnostics, prototyping, observation, questions and surveys, group decision-making techniques, anonymity, majority, plurality, dictatorship. And that's all. Thank you.